I'm going to be showing you how to win the Floowandereeze mirror match. I've actually never lost the mirror at locals. I've played 7 or 8 mirrors at this point, and I've lost the die roll as many times as I've won it, and I've still never lost the mirror. And there's a few tricks that I haven't seen many other people pick up on that allowed me to be able to have done that. And I think most people have realized at this point that when your opponent has map on field and you're going second, and you try to just race them to like a Rise of the Mega Monarch, you're gonna lose every time. They're gonna get to the Rise of first. You're gonna be going through this string of chains back and forth. They're gonna have the advantage in tempo, and they're gonna get there first, especially if they have unexplored wins, and especially if they left a little bird on field. But if you want to swing the tempo in your favor, this is what you do. You'll go, map effect, reveal Eaglin, banish your Rabina, Eaglin chain link 1, Rabina chain link 2, add that Rabina, and of course their map would have been chain link 3. They're going to be going through their normal summons now. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to normal summon that Rabina on the as in order to resolve Eaglin. We're going to keep that in our hand, and we're going to let them decide what they're going to do. Instead of trying to race them to Ryza, which we're going to lose every time, they're going to get there first, and we're going to be at a big disadvantage. We're going to let them keep going. We're going to let them, more often than not, they're going to summon the Ryza and spin back either map or Eaglin. That's all we have on the field. Now, if they've seen this before and they know what they're doing, the smart thing for them to do is to bring out the Apex Avian. More often than not, they'll just go Ryza. They think they've already won. They're not thinking too hard. They're just going to go for their Ryza and bounce our map or something to, put on top of our deck. But if we do this, they'll get their Ryza, they'll bounce it back. We still have a normal summon for turn, and we have a Rabina in hand. And assuming they have no follow-up, that gives us the freedom to just normal summon Rabina, add a Stree, and go from there and play our game. And we added that M-Pen or that Ryza, so depending on the situation, we can just go on from there. And so that's the main trick for the mirror. And one more thing I'm going to show you is really cool. So not many people have really noticed this, but people tend to misunderstand us when I explain this. So let me try to be clear. So map, of course, it has 2 effects. The effect to normal summon by revealing 1 in hand, but you also can get that extra normal summon when your opponent normals. Now that can be done on either player's turn. So let's look at this. So you activate map, you go map effect, revealing Eaglin. You summon your Eaglin, you banish your Rabina, you go chain link 1 Eaglin, chain link 2 Rabina. And let's say your opponent goes, chain link 3, infinite impermanence on your Eaglin. Oh, bummer, you don't get to add your big bird, okay. Well, you add your Rabina, and your opponent's going to keep going and doing their thing, and, probably bring out their Ryza, do their Ryza thing. But here's the thing. When they summon their Ryza, we can go map effect. Not the first effect, but the second effect on our own turn to get an additional normal summon. And that'll put the tempo in our favor. So let's say they bring out that Ryza, they target our map. We'll chain map's effect. Map's effect will resolve first. We'll summon a Rabina. They've already declared their Ryza targets, so our Rabina can't be targeted. And then map's resolve, it's going to get spun back to the top of our deck. They're done normal summoning. We're just getting started. And we're going to go Rabina effect to add, and we're going to go from there. And this is another reason why playing 2 copies of M-Pen is really important, because opening up a big bird in a situation like this is really important in allowing us to have follow-up play. And in fact, this past week at locals, this exact situation happened where they impermed my Eaglin, and it ended up being, he had an M-Pen on field, I had an M-Pen on field, and I went to battle phase, and I knew what his hand was, and I attacked his M-Pen, and I had 2 little birds in hand, and he only had 1. So I go M-Pen effect to banish one of my little birds, and him, without thinking, he chained his M-Pen, and he banished a little bird from his hand. He didn't think about the fact that it was his only one, and that left him with 0 follow-up play. And we both lost our M-Pen, but I had a set Dreaming Town, and he had no follow-up, so he was in a top deck situation. He didn't top deck what he needed, and he, I could hear him from across the room how mad he was that no one plays hand traps and Floowandereeze, and this is just so unfair. And I think he was playing the YCS list card for card, and No disrespect to him, but he wasn't too happy about how that turned out. So, those are a couple tricks for how you can never lose the Floowandereeze mirror and how you can change the tempo to be in your favor.